Chapter 5, Working Together. Internet message from Weather Girl. Hey, did you get my weather data? Yeah, I went over to the harbor to collect it, and while I was there, I had a great idea. We're going to design a windmill that turns a water paddle in your pond. A what? A water paddle. It can stir up the water. You know how propellers on motorboats churn up the water in the harbor? The paddle will churn up the pond water and mix air into it, like making whipped cream with a whisk. And the windmill will power the paddle. I don't get it. How is this windmill and paddle contraption going to help the fish? The fish are sick because they're not getting oxygen. That's why Joachim and Frederick have a pump in their fish tank to pump air into the water. If we use a paddle to churn air into the water in your pond, the fish will get more oxygen. Great. So now what? I'm not sure. My mom keeps telling me to use the engineering design process. Huh? It's ask, imagine, plan, create, improve. She's always trying me to get to do that, even when we're just building toy sailboats. Maybe we should try it her way this time. The fish are depending on us to save them. Okay, so let's both ask and imagine, and we'll talk tomorrow morning. Okay, what should we ask about? What kinds of materials will work outdoors? How to get the windmill spinning fast? And then, maybe, what might work for the paddle part? Got it. Miss you. I miss you too. Moonlight poured through the window as Leif tossed and turned. His dreams had been of fish gasping for air. He couldn't let the night go by without working to rescue them. Leif slipped out of bed and crept over to his craft box. He picked up half-made windmill from the afternoon and tried spinning the blades with his hand. It worked, but the blades were thin and very long. Would wider blades catch more wind, or would they be too heavy to spin quickly? And how should the blades be angled? Leif rummaged through the craft box and found a piece of paper. He started drawing lots of possible shapes for the blades. Leif decided to make a few different blades to try. First, he tried angling the blades in different directions, and then in the same direction. Now that he had experimented with blade shape and angle, Leif could see other problems. The whole machine was wobbly. He wasn't sure the pinwheel-shaped blades would catch the wind. Imagine, he thought to himself. But no new ideas came to him. Maybe I should sleep on it, he thought. The next morning, Leif woke up and headed to the computer. Internet message from Weather Girl to Fish Kid. My windmill is wobbly, and the blades I'm using right now are only paper. They won't hold up outdoors. What kind of blades did you use? Any idea what kind of wind speed we need? My blades were paper too. I folded them like pinwheels. I don't know the wind speed we need, but at least you can get an idea of what kind of wind speed we can count on, right? With all your weather records, you can take a look. We just need to make the windmill so I can move a paddle in the water. Can you send me your plan? The fish are still looking sick. We've got to work fast. Leif, do you think we can really do this? I'll write up my plan and send it to you later today. I know we can do this. An hour later, satisfaction was washing over them. The windmill blades went around so fast that they were a blur. By combining his ideas with Dana's ideas, he had designed a stable, sturdy, and reliable windmill. And what's more, he had gotten the windmill to do some work. It could lift an action figure off the floor. Now he and Dana could work on improving the design. First, they would have to find a material for the blades that worked as well as the paper, but could withstand the outdoors. And then they could make a plan for what his mom would call a prototype. The prototype would be a full-size plan for a windmill that would turn a paddle to churn the water instead of lift a toy. He and Dana still had lots of emailing and designing to do, but he was encouraged that they could finish in time to save the Fisk. Chapter 6. Saving the Fish. A few days later, the wind was cool against Leif's face as he watched healthy Fisk shoot forward in Dana's pond. Their tails swished, their scales caught bright blazes of sunlight. Hey, fishies, meet your superhero, Leif, the junior mechanical engineer. Dana called, tossing some crumbs into the pond. Leif laughed. You're the one who figured out how to make the windmill stand up straight. But you came up with the idea of a windmill-powered paddle in the first place, and you figured out a basic plan. All I did was help improve the prototype. I guess we're both junior engineers. Mom did say that engineers usually work in teams. Leif said. "I'm just glad we could do this stuff together, even though you moved away." Across the clearing, Leif's mother and auntie were laughing. "Just look at those two," he heard his auntie say. "Do they remind you of anyone?" His mom's smile was warm as she caught his eye and waved over. "Cousins or not, they are twins just like us. At least they put things together. Remember how we always used to take things apart?" The two women laughed. Leif had a sudden thought. His mom and auntie had lived apart for many years, sometimes close by, sometimes far away. But they were still good friends and still had fun together. A big load of worry slipped off his heart. He called over his shoulder to Dana, "Race you to lunch!" and took off with the wind.